In today's video, we will play through Situation 3 of Panzerblitz, a classic game from Avalon Hill. The Germans have a tough challenge with this one. See how things turn out here today on Legendary Tactics. And now a word from this video's sponsor.
This video is sponsored by Dark City Games. They're an independent wargame company that focuses on small format simple games for either solitaire or small group play. If you're looking for affordable games, check them out. We'll link to their shop at the top.
And we begin with Situation 3. So, this is an interesting situation in that the victory conditions, you need to string a line east to west or west to east, and I need to go north to south with 3 hexes.
A three hex corridor. Yeah. So that's it's a bit of a in the mat. It just seems so huge of a daunting task.
Yes, but you've already set up your lines so that you can actually meet the victory conditions already.
That's right. Yeah.
So,
Well, and full disclosure, we did use. Was it from the General NATO?
It was from the Wargamer's Guide to Panzerblitz.
Okay.
So yes, you borrowed. I think you may have made some small changes.
Little tweaks, I did, yeah,
yes.
but nothing. Primarily used that Wargamer's. Many of the suggestions there. So.
Yeah. So my first thinking was because we played a game before this, and I'd sent my entire force north. It was totally a waste of resources. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to set up my artillery in the city. I'm going to see if that lures you to battle me in any way. Maybe I can get some shots away on something, or I wasn't sure. I was just basically
lure my troops out of their safety the safety of the forest.
Yeah. Well, my original idea was that I wanted to set up a bit of a base there, and then my goal was to create the 3 hexes along the west side of the board.
Okay.
And again, just because if you're having to defend from 2 different sides, it's going to be trickier. And it's a bit of a gamey thing, but I thought, well, you know what? Let's do an edge of the board. Then I just need to keep you back from one direction.
Right, and you've got the edge to work off, right? So that's kind of seems like a good plan.
Yeah. So, but with these units, I thought I'm going to put them in the town, and my goal was to send some units north because you set up two lines. So you've got your long range ordnance in the north there that are all connected, and then you've got the line in the south that's basically connected. So
I think there was one little small tweak I had to make to make the connection complete in the south, but I pretty well had it. Yeah. Now you brought some tanks over to rile up the troops over here, did you?
Yeah, but the tanks, man. Oh, the fact that they're the Panzer IIIs and their attack factors are halved. Oh,
was that a problem?
It's so hard to dislodge you in the woods with the infantry.
Just because of the safety of the woods, eh?
Oh, yeah, it is really, really tough.
Mm-hmm.
But I was going to send 2 or 3 loaded armored cars. I think 3 I sent north. I thought, well, maybe I can make some, get some damage maybe with the tanks against your infantry. But you were just sitting tight.
That's
just
right.
Past your turn.
and I should just stop to mention that my turns for the next few rounds are going to be rather, how should we say, straightforward?
Yeah. Yes.
There won't be a whole lot of Russian movement, but spoiler alert, yes, I know. But in the meantime, you've got a lot that you're going to be looking at doing, I'm sure.
Yes, yeah. Well, I took out your truck in that one spot, and then it's so funny because I moved everyone there and loaded up, and then I'm like, you know what? You're not going to make a move at all.
No,
so
there's really that was
well,
probably a very wise thing to reload.
I may as well just load up my artillery or whatever and see what else I can do. So you passed your second turn,
and we're on to turn 3 already.
Right. Yeah. And here I was just kind of bashing against your infantry there, seeing what I could do, but really there wasn't much, and my rolling was terrible.
Oh, when you roll stuff like a 6, that ain't gonna get you much.
It was bad. So Yeah. So anyway, I just kept, sending these armored cars north to break up, and I realized that I just needed to take that one artillery, I think it's a 76, just off the hill there,
That's
and
right.
3 half tracks fully loaded may have been overkill.
But you wanted to get the job done, though.
Yeah, and I just wanted to give you too many targets. I didn't want, a lucky roll on your part to, I don't know, blow up the one half track I sent up there, and then suddenly
you gotta like scramble, right?
Yeah, or a unit is stranded there or whatever. So I just thought, you know what, I'll just send up enough forces, because I also thought there may be use for those forces on the big hill 132 afterwards. So. Because you had your reinforcements there, and I thought, okay, maybe I can do some damage there.
Was there ever any thought that you had about continuing on and taking out a second one of the back line? A second?
I don't know if it's necessary, really. I mean,
okay.
As it turned out,
and there's turn 4.
As our viewers will see. Yep, nice pass.
Yep.
There may not have been much of a case for it, but it's not a terrible move but it just costs you time more than anything.
That's right. And you've got those 3 resources, those 3 half tracks and their loads you're using to get there.
Yeah. And I'm just doing my attacks here. The 1-on-2 did nothing. My roll was terrible. This one's a combined attack, so it's reasonably good odds, 3-on-1.
But you roll a 5, so that ain't getting you anything. Yeah,
doesn't do much. And it's a +1 because you're in the woods. That's technically a 6, so there's no effect on that.
Right.
So anyway, this was, I thought you'd fire your mortar, at least try and disrupt something or other, but
you know what?
Your odds weren't great.
No, I just thought, there's no point.
Yeah. And so anyway,
I mean, you had mostly, I guess maybe on that, the artillery you had a defensive 3. And my attack was, so it would have been a 1-to-1.
You could have taken out a unit. Yeah, it would have been a 1-to-1.
I think most likely it would have just, it could have prolonged its life. So yeah, maybe that was
maybe not prolonged its life, but it could have delayed me, because if I have to wait around
for it to come,
a unit is dispersed. Yeah, and you can see you're rearranging your pieces here just to make sure the line is complete.
There it is. Yeah. Yep. Oh, and that's up in hill 132 there. That's the center,
the main central plain, raised plain there. So you were moving your wagons and your trucks around a little bit? Like, what was the thinking
this
here?
Was because you just took out that was it a howitzer you took out down there?
Yeah.
So this was where I thought, okay, I'm going to shuffle around some pieces, and I'm going to eventually load up another howitzer there. And slowly, I was trying to do it without too much notice or fanfare, because I just wanted to try to get it back on the board and get it back, basically to replace the one that you just took out.
Yeah, and that was a good move, actually. But my tanks, look at this, like 3-to-1. Now it's +1 for the woods, but my rolling in this game was just awful.
And a 4.
Which is dispersed. But that's a 3-on-1. Like, I should have a pretty decent chance at eliminating you.
Yeah.
With a bit of luck.
And part of the problem is this turn 4 or turn 3?
This is, I believe, turn 4. So
right. So you've already got to chew through. Like, we're approaching another no effect. Another 5.
And this is where I realized, okay, this is pointless. I'm not getting anywhere. I have to find a different weak point, and so I started loading up all my ordnance there from the middle, and I thought, okay, I'm gonna try and hit everything, like the weak point with everything I have. But the problem is juggling around the stacking. It's actually a bit of a pain to get all the units
all the things loaded up right
properly, because without overstacking.
Right.
So there's not a lot of room in that little town there for, loading, unloading, all that stuff.
You had quite a few in that one hex there in particular. It was pretty loaded.
Yeah. So now the job was done there. So I thought, okay, I'm going to. So it's turn 5 actually. So,
I started turn 4. So I thought maybe it's time now we get that thing loaded up ourselves here and on hill 132 there.
Yeah, and I wasn't sure what sort of threat the units on Hill 132. Like, there's certainly good reinforcements.
That's the way I treated them. I treated them basically as not so much as a like an attack threat, but as okay.
And I'm just trying to punch my way through this single unit.
5, another no effect. Oh, jeez.
Like, yeah. I mean, yeah, sure. I could have brought maybe more.
I was wondering why you didn't go around.
Strength,
but I guess you kept thinking you would be able to crush
the gully.
it.
No, the gully was gonna. I just thought, I'll just blow up this unit and I'll drive through those woods. But it ended, and I'll get rid of a unit.
In the meantime,
In the meantime, but instead it became this ridiculous slog.
I know.
Get those. That
howitzer was really evading and dodging in the woods there. It hungered down.
Yeah. And this is where I identified what I think the weak point in your line is, which is these two guys right here.
Okay.
Because these two guys, they only cover a short part of the line, but it's also one that's very hard for you to reinforce. It's very hard for you to get another unit back in there. So I thought, okay, well, you know what? I'm going to move everything over there, and I'm going to start hammering. I'm going to see if I can get up enough attack strength to really hammer you there.
Okay. Interesting.
But this is where like your 16 defense in the woods is just so strong.
And that's what I realized. Yeah, we don't have a ton of attack power, but we've got a fairly good on the Russian side, fairly good defensive abilities.
Yes. I think I did make a mistake here where I loaded up a unit and moved them.
And they should have been just loaded for that turn.
Yeah, they should have just been, or I think I loaded and then moved, and I should have taken the extra turn. So if someone notices, then that's what
happened there.
Wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyway, yeah, it was just, I mean, in the end, it didn't affect much.
No, because I don't. Yeah. That's true. You didn't attack this turn anyway, did you?
No, I couldn't because I was moving all my guys into position, which left me open. But really, I mean, you've got only 2 5s as far as attack strength, so there wasn't really a massive threat.
And on a stacked space, it's really hard to...
well, you have to do a selective attack and just hope. Yeah.
So there wasn't...
Now, this was kind of a bad idea, which was going right up to the kind of the anti-tank gun that you had there with my half track. But I just thought, well, I want to just go in. I want to, again, almost just trying to overwhelm you with too many targets. And I just moved these guys as far as I possibly could and unloaded because the range was there. As long as I had a spotter, I was in good shape. So I could at least fire on you potentially. But yeah, it was more to lock these guys down, if anything else. Even if I wasn't going to be able to destroy them, but I might be able to disperse them, and it would also occupy, you as far as reinforcement went, because I did have to worry about that.
Well, like we said earlier, the only reason those were on 132 was for reinforcement. So, and I'd already had that loaded up. So you may have been about a turn too late getting up there because. Yeah. I had that guy ready to rock and roll and skedaddle.
Yeah, exactly.
Bolt out of town. So,
yeah, you got it dispersed on my half track there with that attack. But that's the strongest kind of attack that you were really able to muster.
Yeah,
was over time you could probably worn my forces down, but I was really hoping I could get enough attack strength there to do some damage. But then you fired your armor piercing weaponry on my half track, which was a pretty decent odds. So, which really was not. It ended up being 3-on-1.
Yeah,
which is
pretty good.
Decent.
That's pretty solid. So I just got to get a half decent roll here, and I did.
Yeah, so you blew up the half track. So we have a wreck that is coming into play.
Now, does the wreck affect you as well as me?
Well, stacking, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I can only stack 2 other units in that space, whereas before, I can stack 3.
Right. Okay, and for me, it's the travel through space issue.
Yeah, and then this is where your truck makes a run for it.
Yeah, it got out of dodge. Oh, no.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was where I was mentioning earlier. If it had been about a turn earlier, you probably could have...
Maybe cut you off.
Yeah, or at least caused some little more havoc for that.
Yeah.
So I kind of
got. As soon as I saw that truck go back there, it's like, oh, I see what he's up to. He's going to restore that line. So I'm like, okay, so what do I do here? And so I thought, well,
it was about a turn earlier than I wanted to set it down there too. So you were actually, in some ways,
put some pressure on. Now you got no effect on that. I got a bit lucky on that.
That was an attack up on 132.
A good roll there could have actually eliminated me.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, which would have not have been good.
Quite honestly, that hill 132 was kind of just like a bit of a red herring for me. Like I had nothing that I was really gonna do besides that one that one truck that I got out of there just now.
Yeah. And that's something that I'm really learning about Panzerblitz. It's really, a lot of war games are about unit elimination, and the more I play this game, the less. I mean, here I just eliminated you here on a really good roll. Finally, I can drive through.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think this game is surprising to me to adjust to the fact that it's really not about unit elimination per se. It's more about positioning and kind of blocking almost, and it's more of a game of maneuver than it is about a slugfest where you're just rolling and blowing each other up. Like a lot, like your infantry units in this scenario. I mean, if you lose like one or maybe two infantry, well, two certainly, but even one infantry unit is a big loss for you. That's like, oh, you really messed up, you know?
Yeah.
It's so the casualties are not necessarily high except among the weaker units.
That's right. That we've 3 games in, I'm noticing the same thing too. Like a lot of the weaker ones are getting destroyed, not the bigger ones per se.
Yeah. And really there's a lot of dispersals, but
there is.
But it's really interesting that way.
I'd love to hear too from the viewers if in the games you've played if you find if you notice the same patterning, or if that's just
maybe we're just playing it wrong.
or if the current scenarios we're playing and the others are a little more a little more of a bloodbath, shall we say? But
yeah, because that's something that I've really come to kind of. I mean, again, it's interesting in that it becomes more of a game of positioning. The other thing that's really
go ahead.
I was just going to say the other thing that's really odd is that you can't force units to retreat in this so much. Like there's no compared to the older Avalon Hill games where you roll a certain roll and defender retreats too.
Right.
The units tend to stand their ground a little bit more in this game which is different from what I had been expecting.
So speaking of staying their ground, that actually leads into the question I was going to ask. You know that spot where your tank was blasting away to no effect just now? Yeah. I had a horse and wagon, and I'm wondering if I should not have moved my wagon back into that exact same spot to like basically make you waste more time.
Yeah, it's.
I just had that
strategy.
Thought that maybe I should have done that, but
yeah. But this game, as I said, it's a little bit more about maneuver and more about it's like time management. A lot of it is, there's not a lot of time to get stuff done. No, unfortunately. So,
and 10 rounds seems like a bit, but when you've got 3 huge map boards to deal with, generally that's a lot of space, a lot of area to cover in that short time.
I mean the Germans have a tough go in this one. This was kind of interesting though. You're sending your truck around, just a bit of a sightseeing tour there.
We're just taking a cross country trip here.
Yeah, same with this guy, just like driving
just
around,
getting him over to the other
but this is where I'm like, okay, I got to get back there now. Like he is coming up on Hill 107. He's just going to get set up there again, and I'm not going to have enough time to get back there and deal with him. But that's again, I think where my play suffers a bit is I'm still kind of approaching this game as though I'm trying to eliminate you off the map, and I don't think it's actually about that to the same degree. It is selectively, and I think ultimately for the Germans, the only way that you're going to win this is you have to focus all of your strength on whatever that you identify as the weakest point. You need to get your attack factors up, to the point where you're getting at least a 2-to-1. You need at least 32 attack factors on
the 16
and 30 what would that be? 36 on the guards, on the 18 defense factor units. And that's basically everything you got. So there's really
there's no room for dividing your forces up.
There's not, but I think that's where you got to be. You got to attack the weak point and break a hole in the line,
hammering away at it, eh?
Yeah, and maybe what I should have done really is focus just on the weak point from the beginning, and then disrupted things, and then sent a half track or two back to deal with the long range line that you had set up in the back.
Yeah, that line actually is very weak, and so it would. It wouldn't have taken much to get rid of, just the time to get back there and do it.
Yes, and that's what I was worried about. That's why I sent some units there at the beginning, because I thought, well, let me take that off the table and see.
Yeah, it may have made more tactical sense to worry about the big line first.
Yes,
and then scampered back.
Yeah, because all we're just dispersing each other, and this is as where I was realizing like, look, I'm not going to get anywhere. I've got a good portion of my force here, but I need even more. I need the whole.
Yeah, had you had those other 3 half tracks and those three tanks, I think damage could have been done. But
yes, and you were sending your truck back there. I don't know.
Oh, load up just in case. I think just to load up, and then again for a reinforcement potential.
Yeah.
And there's my guy slowly creeping around the hill to that hill I need to be on.
Yeah. Now the wagon, the truck, I think on that connects your line is also a weak point, but it was just so hard for me to get to, so I just couldn't. Over on the east side there, and we're already at turn 9, so I'm like, oh my gosh, like I've got no time to.
Yeah, that east side was intriguing to me because you didn't bother with it at all, and I thought. Yeah. I wonder if maybe, yes, it would have been much slower going, but I wonder if it was an easier route. I don't think they were all 16 defense.
Yeah, but you've got a lot of armor-piercing weaponry on that side, so it wouldn't take much for me to get bogged down in the swamp on the road there.
And then eventually destroyed.
Yeah, but it's still essentially the same issue. Now, here's a mistake we made because I didn't have an active spotter. But I shot at you anyway, but it was no effect. So didn't
no harm, no foul.
Yep. But I was just moving in all my forces as best I could now, and it still wasn't quite enough. Yeah. So I think that's what I should have done, is come up that center road there and hammered that, and then set up some defensive lines on both sides. So you would have been having to advance in the open to get to me.
Right.
That would have probably been my best move.
Approach.
Yeah, but you had some trucks and stuff as well, so you may have been able to drop your guy in and unload, and you would have lost the truck probably, but you would have been able to at least get some reinforcements. But that's where I think the German has to focus.
Right. No, I totally. So, I think you're right. Actually, I think that's
because otherwise we're just in a slugging match, or we're hoping to roll a 1.
Yeah, even right there, I did roll a 1. And it just got me a disperse. So there's. Yeah.
And then here you were.
This is the play
for options.
Yeah, and I was thinking to myself, what? I think I realized I don't need to be on 107.
Yeah.
To actually complete the line.
There was a line back there. Yeah.
So I'll just tuck back in there. So I'm in the forest, so there's the protection.
And because it's turn 9, I did not have enough time to unload and do a proper assault.
That's right. You could have gotten there, but that would have been it, standing on the doorstep.
Yeah. And here as I'm moving into my last turn, I was thinking, I think I'm gonna roll here and shoot with everything. But the best I could do is a dispersed, right? Which is a dispersed was my best.
And you got it. You got your dispersed.
I got it, but it didn't do much. So
for the time being, the line was disrupted. One line was disrupted.
Well, that's where I think if you can get a special, dispersed, and then follow up with a special dispersed with a close assault tactics, that's where you get the units.
So you have
destroyed.
To do the combo idea.
Yeah, it has to be a combo. There's just shooting was not enough in this, and even even if I had my whole force, it still would have required a bit of luck in the roll and all that stuff. So here I tried to blow up your truck, and I dispersed them.
Oh,
so it's like, oh, great.
Yeah. Oh, on Hill 132, my main base. Yes.
Yeah. So my rolls were also terrible.
You didn't have luck of the dice there for sure this game.
But I'm very interested to see what the commentary is on from our viewers on how to win this one. As the Germans, I think the Russians, you just ended up kind of just sitting tight, standing pat, basically.
In a lot of ways, it reminded me of scenario 1, actually, situation 1 from your perspective, where you set up and then sat pat, right? So
and there's your line. You can see
it's the line across the
going
the back
right
row
across
here,
and then right across there, and
on the
right
north
across there. So you had that line set up,
and then in the south.
And this is where it's so funny because it got units there, but you can see through them, so the line is intact.
Yes.
So
yes.
So
I wonder if there is a way that the units would ever actually block the line of sight.
No, not in this.
No. Okay.
No, it's and it doesn't block the range of fire at all.
Okay.
So it was all. Everything was connected, so I have to commend you on a good,
on a well-fought game. But
Yeah, that was good. You did everything perfectly, and you definitely deserved that.
Yeah, well, it really felt to me like it was the German side that had a much tougher slog.
Yeah.
In this particular scenario, but I am looking forward to scenario 4 and seeing what brings. I believe that the 3 map pieces will get reshuffled in kind of a very unique way.
Yes, it's going to be a really different, I think, very different feel to the next one. So
we'll have to look forward to trying that one out.
Yes. So anyway, for everyone who stuck with us through this playthrough of Situation 3 of Panzerblitz, thank you so much for watching.
And this has been Legendary Tactics.